Okay, so if you work with AI, you probably know this feeling. You start with one model, then maybe two, and then, boom. Suddenly you're trying to manage dozens, maybe even hundreds of them. It's a good problem for sure, but it is definitely a problem. So how do we tame the beast of model sprawl? Let's get into it. Right. This is the big question, isn't it? When your models are scattered all over the place, how on earth do you keep track of their performance? How do you make sure they're all behaving the way they should? This problem has a name. It's called model sprawl, and it is a very real and frankly growing headache for a lot of companies. So let's get real for a second. What does this AI model overload actually look like for the teams on the ground? Let's break down some of the biggest pain points. Does any of this hit a little too close to home? You know, digging through endless logs from a dozen different services, cracking open old notebooks just to find one specific training metric. You've got no single place, no central dashboard to see all your models at once. It makes tracking performance in production basically impossible, and ensuring every single model is up to your quality standards, forget about it. It just turns into this constant reactive scramble. But what if you could swap that chaotic scramble for a single central command center? Let's flip the script from the problem to the solution and see how we can get that unified view we're all looking for. And this is where the Amazon SageMaker Model Dashboard steps in. It's exactly what it sounds like, a centralized portal designed to be the one-stop shop, the single source of truth for every single machine learning model you have in your AWS account. Seriously, no more hunting around. And that right there is the key. It's not just a boring list of your models. It's a unified visual overview. The whole point of the dashboard is to pull together all those scattered pieces of information, monitoring data, endpoint status, job histories, logs, and stitch them together into one coherent picture for every model. And this aggregation is where the real magic happens. The dashboard connects all the dots by pulling in information from four really important places. You've got SageMaker Model Monitor for performance, model cards for documentation, the workflow lineage for auditability, and endpoint data for its operational health. It's all right there. You know, a dashboard is only as good as the data it shows, right? So what exactly is it helping you keep an eye on? This is where its tight integration with other SageMaker services really starts to shine. Just think of the dashboard as your early warning system. Its main job is to bubble up alerts directly from SageMaker Model Monitor. So you're not just looking at a static report, you're getting a proactive tap on the shoulder the instant a model's performance even starts to wobble. First step is data quality. This one asks a simple question. Is the real-world data your model is seeing in production starting to look different from the data it was trained on? You know, let's say your model was trained on customer data from last summer. Is it still going to perform well now that winter buying habits have kicked in? That's what we call data drift, and it's a classic reason why models fail silently over time. This dashboard flags it for you. Second, it keeps an eye on model quality itself. Is the accuracy, or the precision, or whatever key metric you really care about starting to degrade? This monitor checks in on the model, seeing if its predictive power is actually holding up over time. Third, and this is so important for responsible AI, is monitoring for bias drift. A loan approval model might be 95% accurate overall, but what if it's disproportionately rejecting qualified applicants from a specific demographic? That's a huge problem. This monitor helps you catch that, making sure your models are performing fairly for everyone. And finally, we have feature attribution drift. Now this one's a little deeper. It looks at the why behind your model's predictions. So imagine your model has always used a customer's purchase history as the main reason to recommend a product. What if it suddenly starts relying heavily on their zip code instead? That's a massive shift in its internal logic, and this monitor is designed to alert you to exactly that kind of change. So how does all this monitoring fit into the bigger picture? Well, it's not just about performance. It's really the foundation of a solid governance strategy. See, the dashboard isn't some isolated tool. It's the window into a complete governance ecosystem. Okay, this diagram might look a little complex, but the idea is simple. On the left, you have your dev accounts, where models get built. Once a model is ready, it gets pushed to a central account that holds a model registry. Think of it like a central library for all of your approved, ready-to-go models. From there, the model gets deployed out to your production accounts on the right. The beauty is, the model dashboard gives you that single pane of glass to see and manage models across this entire distributed system. So when you put it all together, the whole governance workflow is actually pretty straightforward. It boils down to these 4 steps. You monitor the model's behavior, you document everything with a model card, you catalog it in the model registry, and then you use the model dashboard to see and manage the whole shebang from one place. And that is the key takeaway here. All of these services are designed to just work together seamlessly. You don't have to spend months building custom tools to try and glue all of this together. It gives you a really powerful out-of-the-box solution for model governance, even at a massive scale. So what's the end result of all this? What's the big payoff when you adopt this kind of centralized approach? Well, it's a total transformation. You're moving from a state of chaos and reactivity to one of proactive control and true visibility. I mean, this comparison really says it all. Before, everything is siloed and scattered. After, it's centralized and unified. Before, you're always reacting to issues after they've already caused a problem. After, you're proactive with alerts. You replace a complex manual mess with a simple, streamlined, and governed workflow. And this has a very real business payoff. This isn't just about making life easier for your engineers. We're talking about enabling strong governance, which is absolutely critical in regulated industries. It means making audits and compliance checks a breeze instead of a 6-month nightmare. It's about improving transparency. And ultimately, it's about empowering your teams to manage risk and maintain the high-quality predictions that actually drive your business forward. So let's end with this thought. Gaining this kind of visibility isn't just about managing what you have today. It's about giving you the confidence and the control to scale your AI ambitions even further. Because when you're no longer fighting fires, you're free to innovate and build what's next.